Welcome back to the Stadium Journey podcast. Thanks for hanging in there. It's been a long time. We're glad to be back, and we're really glad you joined us. So our website, stadiumjourney.com. That's what brings us all here. We are the world leader in sports travel information. We've got reviews of over 2,600 stadiums from all around the world. I think our last count is 31 different countries. How many countries are there? 120 something. So, it's a good dent.
Oh, don't ask me. No.
I thought it was like 180.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, 31 is a pretty good number, I think. And we are more than just an awesome website. You can connect with us on our social media channels at Stadium Journey. You can find audio versions of this Stadium Journey podcast by searching HIAC Talk Radio wherever you look for your favorite podcasts.
Or go to hiactalkradio.com.
Oh, the website's back. I forgot. It's
yes. So happy.
It's been so long since we all got together. Let's see. If you're looking for a video simulcast of the podcast, you can go to Stadium Journey's YouTube page. And our classic back catalog can still be found all these years later at vocnation.com. And to be part of our live studio audience, we record live every other Tuesday night, going forward anyway, at 7 o'clock Eastern at danlaw.tv. And the gang is all here. Dave Cottenie's here joining us live from the Rogers Center in Toronto. He's at a Blue Jays game, but he's hiding in a corner somewhere so people don't look at him funny right now. You can follow him at ProFan9.
Too late.
People look at him funny anyway, but, we're trying to minimize that.
Well, if they're in a pennant chase, he could just sit there in the front row. Nobody will say anything. They're very quiet at Blue Jays games.
Old story about Earl Weaver screaming at a whole section of fans just to shut up, and they did. Yeah. That was back in the 70s, though. Mark Viquez is here with special guest presenter. Follow him at Ballpark Hunter.
Mr.
Sox or Zuri?
It's Sox. I want to see what was going on. If only Sox could talk.
You're doing better than the White Sox, so congratulations.
Yes.
There's an incredible stat I saw about the White Sox and their 500 record over their entirety of being. Pretty interesting. Oof. The other guy is here, Dan Calachico. Follow him at DanLaw83. And I'm Paul Baker. You can follow me online at PuckmanRI. All right, so everybody. So remember when you were a kid in school and when you went back to school in September, or in Mark's case, July?
August 1st. Yeah, it might as well be July.
And the first thing you had to do in the first week was write an essay and give a speech about what you did last summer. Well, today's podcast, that's what we're going to do. We have been busy all summer. It's been about 6 weeks since we got together. And the last time that we actually put the journey in Stadium Journey was around Memorial Day. So it's time to do it again. It's our version of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, Dave, since you've got limited time and you're running on cell data, we're going to let you go first and recap.
Rogers data.
Recap your summer.
No, I'm on Bell actually, so I don't even have a Rogers phone.
You don't do free Wi-Fi there?
I don't trust it.
No, that's
It's one of those things where if you're a Bell guy and you got to try and use the Rogers Wi-Fi, like I don't know, your phone explodes or something like that. So you just don't mess with that stuff. And Bo Bichette just got on base and drove Vlad to third, so it's a little crazy around here. It's also Marcus Stroman returning to Toronto for the first time since the glory days of the bat flip. So that's pretty exciting. But
does he talk trash about them like he does for the Mets?
No, he actually had said some really glowing, beautiful things about living in Toronto and how awesome it was and whatnot.
All right.
So he got a good ovation when he headed out to the bullpen today. So gave everybody a wave, and that was everybody was pretty happy with that. So
nice.
But here we are at the Rogers Center, and there goes the organ. So
sound like the organ fell down the stairs.
Yeah, maybe. I guess when we were off, I did what Mark told me to do. So I did the whole Inter-County League because he was crying that we didn't have all the reviews. So we polished off all the reviews.
A little bit.
Finished up well and again. That was the last review. By far, it was the best. Just a whole different vibe. The Inter-County League is old. It's like 1919. It's all stuffy and whatnot. And these guys in Welland are sort of flipping everything upside down. I mean, it's not too earth-shattering for what we see because we're used to seeing minor league baseball, right? And that's all they're doing is they're ramping up the promos and all that kind of stuff. And it reminded me a lot of kind of the St. Paul Saints. Like they were pulling a lot of that kind of stuff out. So yeah, actually in like a 2 or 3 day period, I went from Christie Pitts in Toronto, which is free. It's like it's where you would play your beer league baseball.
As bare bones as it gets, yeah, by the picture.
Yeah. It's a tough spot to get to.
I've heard, yeah.
And then I went to the whole different extreme with Welland. And Welland had I feel good for them because they're busting their butts down there. They had a really good year. There was a 3-way tie for first place between Welland and London, and London won last year. And Guelph, who was off last year, but Guelph got Dalton Pompey, who was kind of and also ran with the Jays. So I think that kind of elevated Guelph a lot. But you finish it off. If you're interested in the Intercounty League, go to the website because you can see all of the reviews there. So I guess I have to do like the countdown article up.
Yeah,
because
go for it.
Nobody else did them. So.
I mean, I've only been to London, so I couldn't tell you any of those other ballparks. But yeah, Ryan Harrison over in Welland had a conversation with him on my podcast, and that place sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm glad we were able to go out there. And did you meet him? Did he say something to you, or was that someone else?
I'm pretty sure it was him. I walked into the building, and right away the guy was there. He saw my shirt. Oh, Stadium Journey's here. The guy's like, yeah, here we are. Took 2 steps in. He's like, where's our review? Like, okay.
I love going to the little places. Yeah, I love it. That's happened to me too.
Hey, they know us. They know us. Yeah, Nashua saw me coming. Yeah, I love it.
So that was cool. I'm not going to go over everywhere that I've been, but a couple highlights. Columbus Crew went down to see the new lower.com field. Oh, man, that place is amazing. It fits right in with their whole arena district. And just the vibe in there is amazing. It's open, but it's closed. It reminded me a lot of Minnesota and reminded me a lot of Cincinnati, but just a little bit different. And if you're in Columbus, Ohio, and you got a concession stand from Schmidt's Sausage House,
I know.
No, it's the thing. So I had to go with the famous cream puff, but they have the black and gold, which is special to the Columbus Crew. Black and gold, chocolate drizzle and banana cream. So it was awesome. Probably the highlight. Funny enough, though, we had a pause in the action because there was a lightning in the area. And so we hung around for about a half hour and we're like, okay, you know what? That's enough. There's only like 15 minutes left in the game. So we headed back. And on the way back, we walked past Huntington Park, which is where the Columbus Clippers play. They're still playing. So we got shut down, not a raindrop in sight. We got shut down at the Crew, walking down the street, and they're still playing baseball. So, any
soccer
types,
players,
who are like, talking about wimpy baseball players. I mean, there's your thing right there. So that was really a highlight of the summer. And then I guess the other thing that I would have to talk about is going to the Stadium Journey convention in Minnesota, in St. Paul. And wow, what a blast that was. If you're interested, Paul and I did an obstructed views on the St. Paul Saints. It's already up and ready to go, and it's a pretty darn good one, I would say. I think Paul said we had really high expectations going in, and Mark, that was all your fault because you just like totally.
Was I wrong?
Place.
Was I wrong?
Yep.
You know what? Actually, in
not wrong, but a little overselling in my opinion.
When you walk up, the physical ballpark is like, it's okay, right? Like it doesn't jump out at you. It's far from the best looking. It's far from the best looking ballpark, but once you get in and once you see what's going on, and that museum, the City of Baseball Museum, is awesome. I absolutely love that. The little rotating hand-painted baseballs for all of the honored members, which include Charlie Comiskey. So, see, now we know why
that's new.
Mark loved the. Now we know why Mark loved the Saints so much, because they're his team. Like the original Saints were owned by Charlie Comiskey, and he got tired of St. Paul, and he moved them to become the White Sox.
Well, see, that's new. Those balls, that ball is new. That wasn't there when I went there. Overselling it. I thought that looked like it was jam packed full of fans. Their gift shop is a little bit. It's a little. Their gift shop's all too small. It suffers like the Indianapolis Indians. Yeah. Ridiculously small, and it's like stuff is like falling off the shelves because they don't know what to do with it.
Well, you know what's funny about the Saints, and it has to do with the gift shop too, is that a place that is so much outside the box, like the Saints and what they do, and all of their crazy promotions and the ushertainers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The pig, they have Madonna. They have the most traditional name ever, right?
Yeah.
And the most traditional logo. Yeah, it's so bizarre. I wonder if the powers that be wish they could change it, and if anywhere that you'd expect them to have some wacky, crazy minor league baseball name, it's probably there.
I've never thought about that. Like, they do have a very
point.
And I love that interlocking STP. It's just such a pretty logo. And they've had that since the inception. That was
remember the Minnesota Fighting Saints of the WHA had a really cool logo. Maybe the Saints should do something like that.
Yeah, like it's a kid. Yeah. No, I think didn't the Hershey Bears have a junior B team that has a similar logo?
No idea.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's that Saints logo. I remember that. Fighting Saints. Yeah.
And anyway, before I go, probably the last place I want to talk about, and this was exciting for me to see, Paul Buffalo get excited about a soccer game. So Minnesota United FC, Allianz Field. It was
because they scored 8 goals.
They did score 8 goals. That was pretty darn cool. There was a ton of scoring, but it's just amazing place. You know what they've done in Major League Soccer? They really found the points. The population point, right? So these nice little 25,000 seat stadiums where you don't have like a bazillion empty seats. You get the perfect number in there. And all of the newest ones that I've seen, Minnesota, Cincinnati, what's the other one? Columbus. They all have like the ultimate kind of supporter section. So it's all standing. It's very steep. It's in the end. Often in Columbus, it's the Nordeck. In Minnesota, in Minnesota, it's Wonderwall. And man, if you don't like soccer, like you can just sit near the supporters and they go crazy. Just watch the show there.
It's Elvis. Yeah, it's Elvis in Columbus. I think it's called the Nordeca, but I've heard it say two different ways, so I'm not 100% sure. I just did a video on that, and I was like, "How do I say the Nordeck? Is it Nordeck or Nordeca?" So, I don't know.
But we had a blast there. One thing and we've got an Obstructed Views kind of in the hopper. It's being edited right now. I'm hoping to have it out next week. One thing we didn't even talk about in that is they have a hand-operated scoreboard way up top above the giant bar. Mark, if you would have gone there, you would have never hung out with us. You would have been in the beer hall for the whole match.
I probably would have. Yeah, no, definitely.
It takes up one whole end zone. It was incredible.
Yeah,
and it was packed.
It's like going to Cincinnati and Columbus. I'm sure that, and that's the thing I miss. I love St. Paul Saints, but I definitely would love to get to a Minnesota United game. That was a strong appeal.
That guy was out. They gunned him out at second. So anyway, that's kind of the highlights. It's almost sad to say that I have to go back to school next week. This week actually, but
this week
this week,
Hey,
Thursday.
some of us are not teachers. Don't get the summers off.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm all for you letting all your subjects out so you can have 2 months off, Paul.
No,
And-
no,
No way?
no.
Okay.
That can't happen. No.
Anyway,
We're not gonna release 250 prisoners into the wild.
Okay, so I guess that's a good thing. I guess that's a good thing if you live in Massachusetts that all of Paul's prisoners are not leaving anytime soon. At least not just because they feel like it.
They will
But
leave when
anyway-
they have been properly rehabilitated.
Perfect. I'm gonna bail to my son's baseball team game. So we're supposed to hit the jumbotron at the end of the 6th. So we'll see if any of the boys do something stupid on the big screen, and we'll get pictures, post those up for sure. But yeah, good summer. So hope you guys have a good summer. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say, and I will catch you later from Toronto. See ya.
All right, Dave. Enjoy the game, man. Thanks for joining us on location.
That happens sometimes.
It does. I think we've all done the show from location at one time
Yeah.
or another.
Yeah, we've all, and sometimes it comes in really crappy, and sometimes it comes in pretty good, like that.
Yeah,
So
you came in pretty good.
that good Canadian Wi-Fi up there.
So just to
Data
clarify, what Dave was saying, I actually, when we all got together at St. Paul at the Saints game, we took a group photo outside, really nice picture right by the main entrance, and I had to run back to my car. I had forgotten something in my car, so everybody else went in. I went down, so I kind of circled the park myself, and it was really crowded and stuff. And this was my first impression. I went over to it was Dave and Lloyd Brown, and I said, geez, I was expecting a whole lot more of this place. I think it's a little overrated. But then by the end of the night, after really checking it out, I really liked the place. So I'm not saying it was bad, or just I think the last review was like a 4.71, and my review would have been maybe just a couple points lower. So
Okay.
not that it was bad at all, but yeah,
No.
it was
Well,
fantastic.
I can tell you this. There's one AAA ballpark I went to this summer that had me rethinking, because like last year I went to Durham and I said, you know what, I'm a little bit confused. I like Durham a lot. It's a lot, So yeah, there's a ballpark I'll talk about that I was like, wow, this place is kind of cool. I never thought about it. And it was my second.
Why don't you just jump right in?
Jump right in. Okay, well, you know what? I have been to so many ballparks, and I've actually been to a Colts game, but we won't talk about the Colts. We'll save that for another day. I don't know where to start either. I took a trip out to Texas to see my cousin, and pretty much
apologize for that tweet, Mark.
Yeah.
I was like, when I was writing, I'm like, where the hell did Mark go? I don't remember. I think he said he went to Cincinnati for something. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, no, I went to a Reds game. I went to some baseball out there, but I don't consider that east. Technically, it is east from where I am, but it's along the Ohio River, bordering Kentucky. And I'm sure some people would give you funny looks if you said it was the East Coast. But no, I was in Texas for a good week when it was like 100 degrees outside. And it was nice to go to Minute Maid Park, which is air conditioned. But I got to tell you something. Minute Maid Park is very small and cramped and a little dark. It's not
really.
It's nice. I love the outfield areas where the arch entrance are, where they have the Hall of Fame for the Astros. A lot of great food and beer there. They have like this little kind of supermarket. You walk in, you scan your credit card, and you just purchase anything you want and you leave. So they have this great chicken wing place in there. So they have it's a fun place to be. Like you go there to just eat and drink and be merry and then watch the Astros, win. Hopefully, honestly. And Jose Altuve smacked a home run during the game. Verlander pitched. So, you're seeing some future Hall of Famers playing. So I was with my cousin and his kids and his wife, and I was actually watching the game. I wasn't roaming around the stadium like I normally do. I was just there drinking beer with him and eating. So it was kind of a fun little experience there. $20 to park. There's a lot of lots outside. And I was kind of surprised how cheap it was. It could have been very expensive. They could be charging 40, but it's, I thought everything was kind of affordable for, a first-class team that's been highly successful the last several years. So Minute Maid Park, my third time there. I had a lot of fun. And then the night before, we went to see the Sugarland Space Cowboys, which is their AAA affiliate.
That's
First time
this year. Yeah.
The Space Cowboys. I had been there. I like the name too, and I like the fact that they play the old school rap song by the Johnson Brothers called Space Cowboy. Yippee-yi, 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 yay. If you don't know that song, look it up. You'll be addicted to it, hopefully. But it still reminds me of the old Atlantic League AA type of ballpark. But, it has everything you need, food, drink. It has a very massive kid zone. There's a pool. There's a splash playground for the kids. There's a center field bar. I didn't see a huge amount of people there, but, we'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, Space Cowboys is a great name. Now their team shop was just full of just all sorts of different merchandise. They really went out with this new Space Cowboy theme, and people were just picking up, hats and shirts by the get-go. So that was kind of fun to see. And so I go from like some nice ballparks to probably one of the worst ballparks I've ever been to professionally, and it's in the Pecos League. Shocker. Austin Weirdos. I don't even know where. I don't know where to begin.
They have weird uniforms and stuff.
Yeah, I love their uniforms. They probably have one of the best baseball caps in professional baseball. It is such a good cap that they could probably sell that at souvenir stands, and people would buy it because they would think it's a hat for Austin. And I really hope I could talk to the guys who run the team, because I think they have something there. But they got to find a better ballpark. And I know they didn't want to play at Parque Zaragoza because it's not really a ballpark. It's an old 1947 grandstand that is not even contoured to look like a baseball grandstand. And where the visitors come to play, there's a giant tree that they sit on as the bench, and the other side is just a small little dugout. It's not even a dugout. It's like a city field. There's no food there. There's a porta potty. And one thing I do like is when you walk into the stadium, they say, hey, if you want any beer, get it out of this cooler. We can't sell it to you, but we'll take donations.
Honor system.
Honor system. So if you give them $1, they're fine. If you give them $5, they're okay. And if you give them $5 and take $2, they'll be cool with that. But one thing I did like is in East Austin, which is near all these great like outdoor patio taco places that have margaritas and street tacos and, drinks, and those places are always packed. And that's kind of the cool thing to do in Austin, is to go to those places. So nice neighborhood. You get free beer. They got a great hat. But I mean, that ballpark is like, you're just wondering, what the heck did I just walk into?
Aren't a lot of the Pecos League ballparks kind of like that, little smaller places and stuff?
Yeah, they're not, because I went to another Pecos League in Weimar, and that's a beautiful 1947 ballpark that is kept up really well. It's a covered grandstand. It's made out of wood. Seats about 2,000, and they do a great job there with upkeep in the stadium. It's just, there's some other ballparks that, they're quite questionable by their ballparks. So, Weimar was very nice, but I don't think they attracted a lot of folks this year. And then the Austin Weirdos, I don't think anybody who goes there would want to come back. It's, I don't know. And I talked to the guys who are running it, and, they want to get a grill out there and a stage, and maybe have food, and maybe have like areas where they can sell merchandise. I think their merchandise is really nice. Like my cousin's boyfriend bought a hat, and he wears that constantly. He loves it. Just thinks it's such a cool looking hat. And, but I went to a few other ballparks. One of them that I started questioning, maybe this is one of my favorite AAA, the Round Rock Express. That would be the Dell Diamond. I always want to call it the Dow Diamond, but that's up in Michigan. The Dell Diamond. I got to tell you something.
I've been there.
I went there the first time like 5 years ago. I was like, okay, it's cool. Went there now, and I was like, man, this place. I think the last time I went there, there was nobody there for whatever reason. This year, this place was packed. It was beer night. It was bring your dog to the ballpark. Nice. My cousin went there with her boyfriend and her daughter and their dogs. They have 4 dogs. They had fun. There is a cool VR batting cage they have. There's also a center field bar. There's a swimming pool area that, was packed. I love the food there. I love how each concession stand has its own little unique kind of logo and flair to it, Mexican barbecue. They had this banana dog with peanut butter on it and honey. They have this double deck seating area. They have like a beer garden. It's not a beer garden. I think there's a beer area for craft beer. My only problem with them is the prices. I felt that their beers were about $12.
It's a lot for the minors.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think it was $15 to park, which I had a press pass for that game, so I was able to get in. But $15 is quite a bit for the minors. I was like, damn. Like, good Lord, $15. What y'all doing? And
they got the captive parking there, so that's your only choice.
Yeah, that's like the only choice. And I was just a little bit shocked by that. I thought those prices were a little bit high. I think on Bring Your Dog, I think I bark on it's called, I don't think it's called Bark at the Park. It's called like Tail Wagging Thursday, I believe. I think those tickets are like $14, but like some ballparks charge you. Like some ballparks are weird with the dogs. It's like they'll charge you a small fee to bring your dog in, and other places will charge you, an outlandish fee. So, $14 to bring your dog is no big deal. And my cousin says, yeah, we need to come back here more often with the dogs. Their dogs just sit there on the lawn and chill, eat popcorn. So, you like to see that. You like to get those dog lovers out to the ballpark. So those are just some of the ballparks I've been to. I've been to some other cities. So I'll let Paul talk before I get carried away here.
We can go back and forth because, I took a look at my stats, Mark, for the summer. Let's see. Let's put the glasses on here so I can read them. So, so we're talking about from Memorial Day to Labor Day, basically. I went to 54 games. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. No,
28 different venues. 24 baseball parks, one basketball, soccer game, a concert at Gillette Stadium, and a tennis tournament. So I would like to start by talking about the tennis tournament.
There you go.
But you were going to say something, I thought.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a pretty busy summer. I mean, 25 of those were me working, doing PA for the Rocks. Yeah. But hey, and you know what? With the Rocks, I actually was on Fox Sports, I was on CBS Sports, and I was on ESPN. Well, my voice was anyway, so that was pretty cool. Because they did features. I don't know if any of you follow, but the Brockton Rocks had 5 kids whose dads were all major leaguers this year.
We're
on
old.
The team. Yeah, so Manny Ramirez's son was on the team, David Ortiz's son, Pedro Martinez's son, Keith Folk's son, and Gary Sheffield's son were all on the Rocks. The Rocks had a bad year. They finished in last place, but, it brought a lot of attention. And so we had a lot of film crews around all summer. And since I was doing the PA during these features, I got to hear my voice booming out on national TV several times. But anyway, not going to talk about Campanelli Stadium at all. One of my marquee events this summer, we got credentialed, Stadium Journey got credentialed for the Hall of Fame tournament at the Newport Casino down in lovely Newport, Rhode Island. So that was really, I was really excited to be able to cover it. I've been to the tournament before because it's, in a small little city like Newport, it's a summer resort city. So it really is kind of the centerpiece of the sporting calendar every year. It's held the week after Wimbledon. It's the only grass tournament held outside of Europe. So the timing isn't perfect. So, yeah, you would think having a grass court tournament the week after Wimbledon, you're not going to get the top players in here, and you usually don't. But they couple it with the Hall of Fame induction. And this year, who was inducted? Leighton Hewitt was inducted. So it was nice to be able to go to a tennis tournament. And if you've never been to a tennis tournament, if you like the sport at all, it's really interesting because there are courts everywhere. And you can just kind of wander the grounds, going around and watching people play, just literally inches away from you. And they have the main stadium where the big matches are, and that's really nice. There's one at Newport. There's one concourse on the south side, one grandstand, where a lot of people sit, and the other 3 sides are just tables, picnic tables, basically. So Pam works for a doctor's office down in Newport, so she's got some people who are connected. And one year we were able to go and see the Hall of Fame tournament from one of those nice shady courtside tables. And we were also able to see the Legends tournament that they had one year with John McEnroe and Jim Courier and Andy Murray. I think I forget who else was there, but that was a lot of fun. So you can Newport is one of those summer cities with a lot to do. You've got the Cliff Walk, you've got the Gilded Age Mansions, which are footsteps away from the Newport Casino. Newport Casino has nothing at all to do with gambling, by the way. The term casino used to refer to a small villa, like a social club.
Really? Okay.
So that's what casino used to mean. So
Did not know that.
if you check out my review, the origin story of the casino was pretty cool. This was back in the 1800s. Newport High Society had this one hoity-toity club. A couple of guys got a little bit too drunk one day, and one dared the other. I dare you to ride your horse up onto the patio of the club. And the guy said, I'm not riding it on the porch. I'm riding it right through the damn club. Rode his horse through the club. They kicked both the guys out. The guy said, I'm going to go build my own club. And that's exactly what they did. And then back in the was the site of the original U.S. Open tennis tournaments for many years until the tournament kind of outgrew the casino. The casino's not very big. So they moved that to New York City. And in the 50s, they were going to tear the whole thing down to put up a shopping mall. Pay Paradise put up a parking lot. And they came up with the idea, since this was the site of the first U.S. Open, let's make this the U.S. Tennis Hall of Fame. One guy was thinking outside the box. They did that. And from there, it has grown to be the International Tennis Hall of Fame. They have a tournament there every year. A lot of fun. You usually get a couple of ranked guys, but if you like tennis, you can get up and close and personal, walk the grounds. You can catch there. I only went one day because of work, and I must have caught like 8 matches. And the Tennis Hall of Fame's right there, so you can tootle off and check out the museum. It's a really, really good time if you're in the area. So that was the Newport Tennis Hall of Fame tournament. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? All right, I took my big summer trip every year. We take a trip somewhere. This year we took it in conjunction with the Stadium Journey get together. We started off in Minnesota, went through Minnesota, Milwaukee, and Chicago. Not going to talk about every single place we went, so I'll pick out a couple highlights. Wrigley Field. Hadn't been to Wrigley Field in about a dozen years. What a difference in that place in the last 12 years. I mean, if you would have asked me, and yes, I'm a Boston guy, so yeah, everybody always asks you Wrigley or Fenway, because they're in a kind of a category by themselves. I would have been Fenway. It's not even close. After being at Wrigley, I'm like, I don't know. They're the same. What the improvements that they've made are just amazing. The last time I went, I just found the place dirty and dingy and old, and they've really done a lot of work both to the outside of the ballpark and to the concourse, and they've improved the fan experience. I mean, a lot of people don't like some of the stuff they've done, like the video boards and stuff, but I think they've done a nice job integrating the old and new.
Yeah, it's. I have not been to the new and improved Wrigley Field. I think I was there right before they did. I used to average a game a year, every other year, and I knew people that always want to go up to see a game, and then those people still go to the games. They just don't. They just don't invite me. I think because their spouses they like going to the new and improved Wrigley because it has some modern features to it. Yeah, and that's I'm always at a White Sox game. I just never make it up to the north side. It's just super easy for me to get to a Sox game. But there's still a few more months left in this year, and I'll be in Chicago in September. So yeah, I would love to check it out and share my thoughts with you on that one day. But yeah, you're right. It's a much better experience.
Even the neighborhood, they've really the neighborhood. I didn't recognize it. Last time we went, we stayed in Chicago downtown. We actually stayed right on Wanker. We were right downtown, right on the river.
Yeah,
and took the subway out. Wacker.
Yeah, I think
Lower Wacker. We got kind of lost on Lower Wacker this time.
Yeah,
but anyway, we took the subway out, and you get off the subway station, the L,
and you're right there.
And you're right there at the ballpark, but it was grungy and dirty and run down. Now they've torn down a lot of those old buildings and replaced them with new buildings, so it's nice and shiny and new now. Again, a lot of people aren't going to like that, but it really was unrecognizable to me.
Well, I love Wrigley. It's 100-some years old, but you do have to update these ballparks. What was good in 1920 is not good now. And even Wrigley Field was updated several times, starting in I think the 30s. So yeah, as long as you can have that charm, because I get it. I get the appeal of Wrigley Field. When you go there for an afternoon game, the place is packed and you got beautiful skies. You're like, yeah, it's very rare experiences in the major leagues where you get something like this. So yeah, you have to appreciate that. And as long as you can retrofit it and keep that charm, but also give you a little bit of the standards of today. And I think they did a nice job. I haven't been there, but I've seen enough photos and pictures and videos of the place. But maybe it's time for me to take a look and report about it, because it's a classic.
And what I couldn't get over were some of those what are they called across the street there on the rooftop seats?
Rooftops.
Some of those, I don't even know if they can see the game from some of those rooftops, because they are tucked way over, like behind left field. Like maybe you can see the center fielder play.
Yeah. That is true. I think that was a concern for many folks. I have never been on a rooftop, but I know people who have, so I should ask them. I said, "Hey, how's the view up there now?"
Yeah, it looks like those scoreboards are in the way for some of those people. So yeah, I always wanted to go to an afternoon weekday game at Wrigley, and we were able to do that on this trip. We actually did a doubleheader, and then we went from there over to the Chicago Dogs at Impact Field.
Yeah,
13-mile drive took us 45 minutes.
Oh, I can believe that.
There was some traffic.
I can believe that. So, what'd you think about
the Dogs?
Impact Field.
It was nice and big and wide and clean, and I thought they were going to have like a million different kinds of hot dogs to eat, and they didn't. So that was kind of disappointing. And I know I'm 2 against 1 here, but a Chicago dog's way better than a Jersey dog.
An Italian dog. Well, it's different.
It is different.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
But put potatoes on a hot dog.
I don't know. It's a meal. A Jersey dog's a meal.
It is. It's
or an Italian dog. I don't think it's actually called a Jersey dog. I think they're called Italian dogs, right? That's the official name. No. I gotta tell you, I do like. Too bad. I should have told you. Gene and Jude's is like right down the street from her Impact Field in Rosemont. They're known for some great hot dogs, and where they put the French fries on top, which is another style of Chicago dog that's not that popular. So it's I wish I would have told you about that. You guys would have liked that. But
bumped into a couple ballpark chasers at the Dogs game, so that was fun. Got to hang out for a little bit.
Well, and how was the crowd there?
It was a small crowd. It was a Friday night, and it was a very small crowd.
Yeah, because every time I go there, you're right. It's a beautiful stadium. Marvelous. I love the design and look.
You can walk the 360, and it seems like there was a lot of space that just wasn't being used.
A lot of space that's not being used. It's like when you move into a house and all your furniture isn't there. But it's been like that. It's been like that for several years. And you're right. It's it's probably a nicer venue construction wise than maybe St. Paul, because they're in the same league at one time. But like, as Walter Mondale told Ronald Reagan back in 1984, where's the beef? What's going on here? You have a great, you have a great gift shop, but I'm expecting more food. I'm expecting more areas where there's entertainment, like like a Plinko plaque or some games, carnival games.
Well, they do have a kids play area out in Westfield.
There is one. And it's cheap, it's like $4 to park your car there in the garage, which is pretty much, near, makes up that backfield entrance. Yeah, but you're right. It seems like there should be a lot more going on there, and you're scratching your head like, where the hell is everybody? Nice neighborhood. It's near a lot of. It's
right off the highway.
Right off. Pretty much everybody that drives on. I forget the interstate. It's 94.
90 and 94. I think it's
90 and 94. Everybody sees it, but yeah, where the hell is everybody? There's got to be some people in Chicago that just can't make it to a Cubs game all the time, and we'll say, hey, let's go see a Chicago Dogs game. I don't know, but I know Schaumburg, which is not too far away. They have a ballpark. I don't know if you got out there. They get people.
This was really an independent baseball trip for us. We hit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 American Association parks and 2 Frontier League parks. So We hit all of the independent ones around Chicago. That was a lot of fun. Doubleheader. So I'll talk a little bit about the American Association parks, real quick. Fargo, nice park, gorgeous sunset we saw there. But it was a plain park, really big crowd. Ran into Sean McDonald, who we've had on the podcast. Ran into him and his daughter there. Affordable. I think I caught a couple baseballs there that game. That was something that's never happened. So that was a nice place. Fargo, and of course, being in Fargo, it's right there on the campus on North Dakota State University. So I had to sneak into the Fargo Dome. I got to go back there for a football game.
It looks fun.
It looked like a really fun place. So yeah, and it's all right there. The basketball stadium. And why does North Dakota State University not have a hockey team? Can somebody explain that to me? It's like URI, Rhode Island, not having a hockey team. Doesn't make sense. North Dakota has a fantastic arena and hockey team, legendary, but North Dakota State, nothing. And while I was in Fargo, I checked out the Roger Marist Museum. Have you ever been there?
No, I only driven through Fargo. I haven't spent any time there.
It's calling a museum is kind of not really being accurate. It's a hallway in a mall. It is in a shopping mall, and apparently Roger Marist wanted it that way. He wanted it somewhere where everybody could access it and where nobody would have to pay. So one hallway of this mall has just all kinds of Roger Marist stuff. And there's a little side room where you could watch a little movie about his life, which was fantastic. So, we killed a good 45 minutes there before we went over to the ball game. Really, really well done, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And there's also, we were like, this was great. I want to throw a few bucks in the donation tin to support this. They don't even take donations. So you can learn a little bit about Roger Marist and his quest for 61. And we had watched the Billy Crystal movie beforehand, so we know what to expect. But it was really
that's an underrated. That's underrated movie. You don't hear about it too often, but it's well done, and even the special effects hold up.
And holy cow, the guys they had playing Marist and Mantle, they couldn't have found two guys who looked more like them.
They were believable. I think the one guy was
Barry Pepper was one.
Barry Pepper, and he also played Earnhardt in his biography. So yeah, he pulls it off.
All right, so that was Fargo, and we went to Gary, Indiana. Saw the real.
I was there.
Okay,
I was there.
Everybody, whenever you say you're going to Gary, everybody always says something like, "Be careful."
Be careful.
And you're like,
all right,
careful. You know what? I have worked in the inner cities with people, who are down in their luck or having issues with their life or not in the best neighborhoods. So I'm like, all right, I'm guessing this is all pretty overblown. It's not, man.
Oh, I'm glad that wasn't overblown. St. Paul was overblown, but Gary wasn't. Yeah.
No, the city of Gary.
Yeah. No. It's,
wow. When we drove through the city during the daytime.
Did you go through Broadway? Because that's like the main drag. That's it.
And you could tell, like back in the 50s, this must have been something.
Yeah.
This place.
Yeah.
But holy cow. Every single building looked burned out and just covered in graffiti. And you can just probably guess all the people living squatting inside and all the stuff that's going on in there. And it's funny. And they've got like these big signs. Michael Jackson's boyhood home.
Yes.
You can go right down the street. It's like, and that's just this little house. It's nothing. There's nothing there.
No, and you can't go inside. Yeah, it's like you go to Detroit and look at Motown where they were founded, and it doesn't look like much, but when you take the tour, you see a lot. But Gary,
Michael Jackson's house, you can just kind of drive by it.
Yeah, Gary to me is at least when I go, they usually have good crowds. The day I went this year, they didn't have a lot of people. It was very hot. It was like $5 margarita night, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
But for the most part, I think they get some good crowds. I think the people in the area, they get decent crowds enough to say, okay, I'm kind of impressed. And I think their beverages are pretty cheap.
It was 95 degrees the day we went. I ended up, and we went on an afternoon game, and so I got this giant slushie. And it came in this, 24-ounce cup, and then they piled it on. So it was literally this big. It was so hot it lasted me 2 innings, but still.
I didn't see that. But like I said, I think a lot of people don't feel like dealing with Chicago traffic.
Right.
Like, because if you're there in the region, which is that's called that part of Indiana, you don't feel like going to Chicago to see a Sox game and dealing with the traffic, coming back or paying tolls. So you're like, I'll go to Gary, free parking. Nobody's going to bother me there. Yeah, nobody's going to bother me. But Yeah, it's just too bad the neighborhood is what it is. Like you don't stay there before or after the game. You leave. You go to Maryville or Crown Point. You get out or you go home.
We got out. Yeah, we from Gary, we hightailed it into the city, into Chicago, and I forgot where we went, but went somewhere. So yeah, the park was nice. Yeah, like you said, it's an island though. It's an island in the city.
Yeah.
Like wow. Been a long time since I've been in a place that run down. And sorry, Gary, I'm not trying to talk crap about you, but
well.
And then 2 other American Association places we went. So the Milwaukee Milkmen.
Nice.
What an interesting ballpark. And you know the best part about that ballpark? Big, wide seats. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are wide.
There was extra room for me in this seat.
Oh, there you go. That gets an extra, right? If you did the review.
Man, no, I didn't. But that was like 2 Fenway seats put together.
I can believe that.
Felt like I was in a double wide, and Pam actually sat a seat away from me. I was like, I can't even touch you.
Wow. Those are things that should be appreciated because I'm the same way. I don't want a small little chintzy seat. I want a big man seat. That's
why I felt like the diet was working. It's like, wow, if I lost weight, I fit in this chair easy.
Yeah, here, have a milkshake. I know that's
what that was the number one concession item. Yeah, milkshake. And
milkshakes. Now, how's the neighborhood there? When I was there in 2019, when they first opened, a lot of construction and safety areas.
It's a whole sports complex.
Yeah.
So in the winter, that's actually a ski slope right there. There's all kinds of baseball and softball fields right, and I mean right next to the field. So behind on the third base side, they've got giant nets hooked up now because there's a high-tech golf driving range right on the third base side, and then there's a condo complex and everything. But it had the double deck, or was it a triple deck? The golf driving range with the computers and everything. And it looked like there was a helicopter landing pad there too. So yeah, it was.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole, I think you're right.
Yeah, no,
whole complex.
No, that's good to hear because when I went, we always talk about when you go to a stadium for the first time because most stadiums now are being built as part of a complex or neighborhood. Like when we went down to Columbia, South Carolina, like we thought to ourselves, what would this place look like in 5 years? And it'd probably look a lot nicer because you just have the stadium here. So yeah, was kind of curious what Milwaukee will look like. So good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear.
Park was nice. Lots of room everywhere. I mean, you can just walk around and around.
Yeah,
so that was nice. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No,
and then
to
close out the American Association, we visited the newest park in the league, Lake Country, the Dock Hounds. The review is coming out tomorrow. Lake Country's not going to be happy.
It's funny. I talked to. I forget the gentleman's name. It's Jared Kelnick's father, the Seattle Mariner player. Well, he's actually in Tacoma right now. I had a conversation with his father on a podcast of mine earlier in the year, and yeah, he was talking about how they were going to have down the third and first base lines. They're going to have miniature kayaks as seats.
Yep.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what that looked like.
Okay, first thing that hits you when you go into I don't want to say it and butcher it. Anamawaka.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I had to practice that when I talked to him.
And it's not pronounced like it's spelled, but there's 5 O's in it.
Anamawak, I think it's called.
Anamawak. Yes, you got it right there, Mark.
Okay. I remember.
But anyway, it's right off the highway.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to take the highway, you're going to take the thing and go right into the parking lot. Nope. You go off the highway, come around, and then they make you take a detour, and you go down the street all the way around.
Why?
And you come in the other side. So, of course, being the stadium journey curious kind of guy and wise ass that I am, asked the poor lady who's working in the parking lot, why the hell do we just drive 3 miles to get into this parking lot right off the highway? And she said opening night was just incredible. It was a mess. There were accidents. Traffic was backed up onto the highway. So what we're doing is we're making all the cars go in the same way. So you end up taking the long way around.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they're going to get those crowds on most of the nights. So
opening night, they sold out. The night we were there, there was probably 1,000 people in a 4,000 seat ballpark. So it wouldn't have been an issue. But anyway, so interestingly, this ballpark was built. It's going to be the first step, like you said, Mark, community center. There's going to be like a gym complex and some kind of other, like a community kitchen and another gym or something. This is step one, the ballpark. And they built it so that they can use it for baseball, for lacrosse, for soccer, and I think for football. So they built the ballpark to accommodate all those sports. You and I have both been to Gastonia.
Yes.
Interesting design that we both kind of liked. It kind of worked. Multi-purpose sports facility. I don't think Milwaukee worked that well. So what they did for baseball is you come into this
Lake Country.
Lake Country. What did I just call it? I'm sorry.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, it's near Milwaukee.
It's near Milwaukee.
There's no seats behind home plate. It's open.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the video you sent me.
It's got 2 decks, which you can buy tables, which are nice. You can buy a table for, I think, $80. And you've got table that seats 4, and you have drink service and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. The seating is just one thing on the third base side, one thing on the first base side. Just a row of seats. Further down the right field, they have the kayaks you were talking about, that you can buy a kayak, seat 10 people, and then you can hook it up with like a drink package or a food package. There's inflatables down there. There's a bar down there. There's a basketball court down there. There were teenagers playing basketball all through the game. It doesn't have the 360 concourse. It's just very limited. And underneath, very, very tight, very odd design choices, in my opinion. The concession stands don't look like concession stands. They kind of look like just little ticket windows. So you go up to this little window, you get your food and stuff. And so it's very cramped.
Wow.
So they kind of tried to make it serve all masters, and I don't think it really works for any of them. You can see why, if you're going to use it for soccer or lacrosse, you don't want the seats in the corner. That's the worst spot for seats. So they got the 2 grandstands going down either sideline. That makes sense. But for baseball, it takes away the prime seats.
Because I noticed even when they came up with their logo, it didn't really seem like a baseball logo to me. It's too much was going on. Like, most logos these days are just kind of straight and to the point, perfect for social media. And then their logo has all these like different shades and stuff going on. How was merchandise? Did you notice the stand there?
Okay, so when they have a small store. Okay. Now you know me. You have all seen my man cave, and you've seen the obscene amount of stuff that I collect. So when we go to a ball game, I think there's 4 items we got to get. Got to get a baseball. You got to get a pin. You got to get an ice cream helmet, and Pam's got to get a mascot.
Nothing.
Nothing. Shirts and hats. All they had.
Yeah,
they did get ice cream helmets. We did get ice cream helmets.
Okay, well that's good to hear. Yeah, it's that's confusing. It's like, guys, like you don't have baseballs? Like, really?
Not the only ballpark we came across with no baseballs. Schaumburg did not have baseballs either.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me about Schaumburg.
Yeah, and we closed out Chicago by hitting up Joliet and Schaumburg.
Ooh, and the girl with the purple hair was not working the bar.
There was a girl there who might have had purple hair at one time, but she was not there when I was there. Yeah, I like Joliet. The problem with Joliet, it was a rainy, crappy day.
I know.
When we got there, the field was underwater, but within an hour, they had it ready to go.
Yeah, because it's a nice. Joliet. Yeah, I like Joliet too. I think it's one of those underrated ballparks. I mean, it's had a comical turn of like, what are we going to call this? Because that was the ballpark they're going to call Cards Against the Humanity. And it was Silver Cross Stadium, and they lost the naming rights, but the name was still there. But yeah, I think it's a very nice ballpark, and it has some nice features. Has some great features. They had an Italian beef style nacho with Italian beef and some cheese and marinara, and I thought their prices were not that bad. No. Yeah, it's a very cool ballpark, and I remember center field had a basketball court and.
It has what is the ballpark that is accessible? I can't think of Miracle Field, or what's it called? It's handicap accessible baseball field. They got a little one out there where those basketball.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of them right now. But that was really cool, and I had never seen one before, so I got to go out there. It was open, so we went and walked around it.
Yeah,
looking at it.
Yeah, Joliet, definitely. If we had to do an underrated ballpark that people don't really talk about, but maybe should that be on. And it has some trees and park benches and certain spots to add. Yeah, a lot of room.
I love trees on the concourse. I said that while we were there. There were a couple of trees on either side on the concourse as you go farther down. You know what? I like trees on the concourse.
Yeah, it adds a nice I think Louisville has that now, and I know Columbus Clippers have that, and that really stands out. I was like, that's nice little shade, little natural shade. Yeah. Yep.
And then Schaumburg, I mean, there was only about 100 people at Joliet because of the weather.
Yeah, that's always stinks.
And you know what? No, I love it when it's like that, spread out. Yeah. Of course, the first set seats we sat in, somebody's seats.
Really, guys, really.
5,000 seats. Are
There's always one person. Yep.
So that was nice, and Schaumburg was nice enough too. And let's see what else happened on the trip. Bumped into our correspondent Eric Hassman at Gary. So that was cool, and he gave me free tickets to Schaumburg. So
the hookup.
Yes, he hooked me up.
I guess you didn't talk politics with him.
No. But that's all right.
Yeah.
So right. that was my
baseball.
trip. That's right. We talked the common language of baseball.
Yeah,
and also saw the Twins at Target Field. Target Field still one of my favorite major league ballparks.
Good. Now, because I don't think I hyped that up. I do say it's a nice ballpark. So, yeah, that's a good time there. Yeah, so that's fun. That's fun to do those ballpark trips. It's that part like Chicago. You can do so many different ballparks, and then shoot up to Milwaukee or shoot up over to Madison, Wisconsin, Rockford to see some stuff, or go over to Toledo and Detroit. Yeah, it's a really cool. It's there's a lot of and you didn't go to Kane County. That's another.
We've been there before. That's why we didn't go.
Okay, but sometimes you can't hit them all. And of course, the White Sox, you had been there before, and
we had 5 in 3 days, man. We had everybody who was playing at home.
5 in 3 days. That's like a wet dream for a ballpark hunter. 5 in 3 days.
And if we could have gotten parking, we would have done the Chicago Sky also.
Oh yeah,
but we couldn't. We couldn't get in.
What happened there? Yeah, you told me you couldn't get in. What was the reason?
There was some kind of convention going on. So that's on the DePaul campus. I don't know if that's on campus, but it's right next to the convention center.
Yeah, it's next to the convention center.
There was an anime convention going on because there were people in costumes walking everywhere.
Okay.
And so this giant garage right across the street, it was full. So we couldn't get in there. We didn't have tickets too. And so we looked around, a couple of parking lots were full, and then we drove by the front of the arena, and there was lines everywhere. It's like, you know what? Let's
yeah. And
I don't want to spend $30 and not get a ticket. Let's just go to Joliet.
Yeah, and I'm sure that parking would have been $50 at least.
I think it was 25. Yeah.
Oh, okay, not that bad. Yeah, okay. So that's just the Milwaukee Bucks who try to rip you off for parking outside their stadium. But yeah, no, I hear you. Out of those ballparks, which one sort of surprised you the most? Like, hey, this is much better than I thought.
I really like Milwaukee.
Okay,
we're talking the independent ones, right?
I mean, anyone. Yeah, independent, summer collegiate.
The only summer collegiate one we went to was Mayo Field in Rochester.
Yeah, that's an older stadium.
The Honkers. Hey, that was old and it looks old, but it was fun.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Those old parks too. That's what I love about summer college. At least out in this part of the country, it's really kept a lot of old historic ballparks.
It has, and it's same with the Northwoods League, and speaking of old ballparks, I went to Ned Skelton Stadium, which used to be the Toledo Mudheads home from 1965 to 03, 02. I didn't think that. I knew it was still standing. I didn't know that.
Did you go inside it?
I went inside it.
I've got some pictures for you, Mark.
There's a 45 and up baseball league that plays there. It's 8 teams, guys from all over the area, and they'll play. I think it's 3 games during the day. Like each team plays a game, so maybe it's 4 games. I don't know. But I'm driving. I'm like, let me just try to get some pictures from like maybe the outfield area behind the fence, and I saw people playing there. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? So I walked inside. I walked around on the grandstand. I walked up the seating. You
didn't fall through?
I didn't fall through. I did think about that. If you look at the bottom concourse behind, it's dilapidated.
It's got trees growing through it.
Yeah, and they have barriers, so you could walk down the stairs, but you just can't enter the concourse. Believe you me, I was going to walk around, and I'm looking at these guys, probably my age, your age, and older. I mean, there was a guy who was like 63 playing baseball.
See Billy have a heart attack on national TV?
No, did have a heart attack. But no, he was playing well. I was actually talking to the guy. She's like, "Hey, you want to play? You want to sign up next year?" I said, I live 3 hours away. I can't." But yeah, that was a great surprise. I had a lot of fun. I do have a video coming up soon, and I do have an article posted. So I did take some pictures. But yeah, I was like a kid in a candy store. There might have been 7 people in the grandstand, and this is like a 12,000 seat stadium. But yeah,
it's amazing that was considered state of the art.
Yeah, no.
I remember.
Yeah.
I used to work with Ken Ryan, who played in the major leagues for 8 years, and he played for the Red Sox and the Phillies. And I went on one of my trips, and when I came back, of course, Ken wants to see all the pictures. He used to eat this stuff up. And I told him I took a detour to Ned Skelton, did what you did, walked around the place, took pictures. And he couldn't believe it. And he was telling me, all right, yeah, the locker room used to be over here, and we used to have to walk through here to come up. And he was just amazed by how bad it was. And I'm sure that was maybe 5-6 years ago. So.
Yeah. I was just shocked. Now, I heard they're knocking it down in the fall, but a lot of the guys, everybody had a different story. It's like, well, that's what they say. But, nobody knows what they're doing. And some people say they're going to keep that funky looking press box structure up, but who knows? It'd be nice if they kept something up, a reminder.
Right.
Like they're going to keep the field. They're going to allow those guys to still play there. But they're just not, what are you going to do with a 10,000 seat stadium? But it'd be nice if you did something to it. Speaking of older stadiums, I did Detroit. So I was coming back from Detroit on that. I went to where the old Tiger Stadium was. That's now called the ballpark at the corner. And I got to tell you something. If I was at this stadium 10, 20 years ago, let's say 20, not even 20.
Still being used?
Yeah, 2005, if I was there, right? Like after the Tigers moved out, I would not be walking around that street because I would not feel safe. Holy moly, that place is a lot different now. Apartment complexes, new buildings pop up. I mean, Detroit is a happening place again. I got to tell you something. When we talk about our favorite cities, it's going to probably be Detroit because I had a blast up there, and I should have stayed at least another day and just checked out a few more things. Yeah. But yeah, where Old Tiger Stadium is, it's a small little ballpark with synthetic field.
Yeah, it's like a Babe Ruth field now.
It's like a Babe, but they have one of the local colleges play there.
Oh, okay.
And when I was there, it was a 7-on-7 football game with a tournament. So they had a bunch of kids playing football. I walked in. I just walked in. I said, yeah, I'm with the media. And they just let me go in. And I had a blast just walking around there, taking photos.
Let anybody in there, huh?
Yeah, they'll let anybody. You just show them your stadium journey card.
That's it. We got
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Yeah,
I did the same thing, Mark, one time when I passed through Detroit, only they hadn't built the stadium yet. So it was just a big empty field. The only thing left there from Tiger Stadium was the flagpole.
Yeah.
Instead of field. And of course, I had this plan on our trip, and we had driven all the way up to Detroit. So, of course, in the trunk of our car was our gloves. So I said, man, let's grab the gloves. We're going out and playing catch on Tiger Stadium. And I got all kinds of pictures of us on the mound.
Yeah. I did the same thing, except my wife's like, why do you want to hang out on what's so great about this place? But yeah, and I also went to Hamtramck. There was an old Negro League stadium that has been renovated, and there was a youth game going on. Beautiful little grandstand, no frills. It's just an old ballpark, but I was there about 6 years ago when it was dilapidated and covered up with graffiti and glass and God knows what. And now it's a place where they have baseball again. So,
that's Hamtramck, right?
No, that's Well, that's a similar. No, that's Hinchcliffe, which that's getting renovated. I've also been there when it was old and renovated, old and dilapidated. No, these are two old Negro League ballparks that suffer the same fate. Hinchcliffe is a lot bigger. Hamtramck is a small grandstand that's near the Detroit City Football Club Stadium. And Hamtramck, I had there's a Bangladesh style pizza place, and actually the guys who opened it are from Patterson, where Hinchcliffe is at, and New Jersey that is, and they have a pizza with a tandoori chicken pizza, which was freaking delicious, Detroit style tandoori chicken. And I also went to see Co-America Ballpark, Co-America Field, or Co-America Park. I'm losing my mind. Where the Detroit Tigers play. Beautiful little ballpark. It didn't stand out to me, but it's a nice place. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. There was nothing there that said, oh, my God, what a great place. But I think it gives you whatever you need. It's got statues. It has history. It has a great kids area. It's full of excitement. I love the entrances where the Tigers are.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best entrances in all of baseball. If you're the Tigers, you might as well have that. And on my way back, I did check out two Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League stadiums. One of them was in the Lima Locos, which is about an hour or so south of Toledo in Ohio. And the other one was the Grand Lakes Mariners, which is in Salina, Ohio. This is a 2-hour drive from me right now. Small town. Ballpark sits about 500. It's near a lake. There's a giant lake there. And it's a pretty little town. I've never heard of this place. The only reason I was out there was to see this Mariners team. And my God, I had such a great time there. They had a beer garden. They had $4 craft beers. They had something called Mariner sauce. They had people and kids running around. It wasn't a fancy stadium, but they're building onto it because a tornado destroyed it a few years ago. But they have an indoor batting cage. They have a nice room for the press box. They have great dugouts for the home team. They're rebuilding that on the opposite side. So this is a stadium that is sort of being rebuilt piece by piece. And I think when they're finally done, you're going to have a nice little complex there. And like I said, it's right near the lake with a trail around it. There's a downtown with some nice little restaurants to go to. And just 2 hours away from me in this small little town, which I had never heard of before. So that was a nice little, the hidden gem. And you go there, and once again, it's like, hey, I'm on Stadium Journey. And you start talking to people. And you meet the owners, because at these type of ballparks, the owners are there. They're watching the games. They're part of the community. They're the head baseball coach of the high school team. And shoot, they'll talk your ear off. I mean,
absolutely.
It's
happened to me in Winnipesaukee, yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a fun time. And I love really going to these small ballparks now because, there's always, like Lima. Lima had local hot dogs and brats being cooked on the grill by volunteers. And the place was packed. It was a 400-seat stadium. They had about 300 some people there.
Nice.
And it was, it's kind of a junky little ballpark, but people there to watch some baseball. So I had a great time.
That's awesome. It's awesome. So it sounds like we had some busy summers.
Oh yeah, it's not over yet. I hope it's not. No. Yeah.
So fall is awesome, man. Now you got multiple sports to choose from.
Yes.
So before we wrap up, Gregory Koch, our best listener, our number one listener, has been cracking jokes in the Twitch room all night. So let's see. So when we were talking about Cincinnati not being East, he says, "Well, if Texas is in the Southeast Conference, then Cincinnati's definitely East."
You might be right.
He said, I don't know what we were talking about here, but he says there's apparently a secret virtual golf driving range in the rafters of Gampel Pavilion, which is the basketball court at UConn. And I've been there many times, so now I'm going to look for this. He says one of his college friends claims he snuck in there once. So now I've got to go. Gregory, next time I go to Gampel, I am looking for that.
Pictures or it didn't happen?
Right. You know what? I say that all the time on the internet, and nobody ever shows me their boobs. So
yeah, I've never seen a bear. I've never seen a pair. Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway, dirty old man alert. And what else he say? Oh,
dirty. Old.
Dan needs to say "Okay, Boomer" to Paul when he talks about the Schaumburg Boomers. I know he's always wanted to.
Okay, Boomer. I've never wanted to say that to you.
I'm not a Boomer fan. I am a Gen X.
Yes. Your buddy Eric, he's a Boomer.
And this is good. He says it literally costs less to illegally park on the street outside Audi Field in DC and get a ticket than it does to park in the lot.
Yes, it does. Yep.
Geez, so parking tickets in DC are pretty cheap then, huh?
How
much less are we talking about, Greg? How much?
I've been to Audi Field, and I don't want to leave my car on the street in that neighborhood, man, because you're going to come back with no tires.
You're fine. Nobody's going to mess with your car. Not there.
Nah, I'm kidding. I've actually stayed down there for a Nationals game.
Nice.
Well, the only thing I'm mad about Audi Field is it took over my favorite parking spot to go to Nats Park.
I never parked on that side. I always was up on the other side. Or we took the subway.
I haven't been to DC to see either of those stadiums. It's been a while.
There was a great $5-10 parking spot. It was basically a dirt field.
Yeah.
Right past Nats Park, where Audi Field is now. All gone because we had to have soccer there.
Yeah. Well,
hey, you know what? I'm glad you're there because the Union beat the holy hell out of the United frequently. So I'm just happier than a pig in poo.
Our pig's actually happy when they're in poo.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
so I guess that's where we're going to wrap it up for tonight. What a busy summer, man. Now I'm ready for the fall. I'm ready to. We'll do this again in a couple months. Maybe we won't wait a couple months to put the journey in stadium.
Yeah, because I did not talk a lot. I did not mention some other stadiums, but
yeah, me neither.
Like the Lake County Corn Dogs. But yeah, I think,
and we still went well over an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. Dave's not here with us, but if you would like to follow him online, you can follow him at ProFan9. Dan, where can our listeners follow you?
You can follow me making fun of the fact that the Union have beat the United 13-0 over the last 2 games this year. At Dan Law 83. Haha, Craig. Greg. Sorry, there's a Craig and a Greg, and always you.
And Mark, what do you got coming up before we get together again in 2 weeks? And where can our listeners follow your growing media empire?
Ballpark Hunter on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all those good places.
Media empire, everybody ignores.
Media. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? If I was part of Curve Brim, part of Curve Brim Media, that'd be a media empire. But I'm not.
Yeah.
So
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. So just throwing it out there, guys. Anyway, you can follow me there, but I don't know if I have any place to go to. I just went to a Colts game. I went to an Indiana Fever game at the Butler Field House. I went to training camp, which was a lot of fun. I don't know if every NFL team does a cool training camp site that's geared to families. So I'll be going someplace. I am making plans. It is college football. I'm looking at Butler. I'm looking at Purdue, IU. I do want to go check out Wabash, which is Division III. They just opened up a new stadium last year. So believe you me, I do have some Saturdays penciled in. And in October, and I know we'll talk before then, I would love to go check out Michigan University to see a hockey game there because I heard it's pretty cool and fun and exciting.
Talking about Yost?
Yes, Yost. Yes, I know Dave Cottenie be like, dude, you got to go there.
Yep.
I know he talks highly of it. Yes, his favorite place. So, we'll see. We'll see because that's my October break, and I'd like to kind of do Michigan, go into Sarnia, and go into Windsor, do some junior hockey. And but unfortunately, the Red Wings aren't playing, so damn, kind of screws things up. Darn. Oh, shucks. But yeah, college football's coming up, and who knows? It's still baseball season until because to me it feels like the fall because it's October. I mean, I'm sorry, because it's school started for me last month,
right?
But no, it's still summer, guys. Baseball's still being played, and it's being played for a little bit longer.
And the minor leagues go longer now than they used to because it used to be Labor Day. Labor Day, that's it, done. But now,
yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
A couple more weeks. AAA goes till the end of September.
Yeah, I got to tell myself that. I go, wait a minute, they're not over this weekend. They're going to be played.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. What do I got planned? I'm back behind the mic. I had a month off between the end of baseball season and the beginning of football, but UMass Dartmouth football starts on Saturday, so I will be at Cressy Field. If you were in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, feel free to stop on by and you can hear these lovely tones, right? And then let's see what else is happening. We're going somewhere else this weekend because it's Labor Day weekend and we've got the time off. So football will end, 3:00 on Saturday, and then we got Saturday night, we got Sunday, we got Monday. Not sure where we're going yet. I'm trying to push Pam into going up to Quebec because we can catch on Sunday. We can do a doubleheader. We can do the Trois Rivières Eagles.
Oh, we need to review those.
The Quebec Capitale.
To Quebec. Oh,
yeah, we do.
I'm hoping to.
You're gonna go to Videotron Center, baby.
Well, there's no hockey going on this early, but
just walk around. No, yeah, we do.
Look at it.
Get in there and walk around.
Sure.
Yeah, like he said.
Maybe the ice will be down.
I think.
Maybe you could take some shots on goal.
Bring my skates.
Yeah. And Quebec. We do need to review Quebec. That's like one of those stadiums we don't have anything on.
Well, we'd have it if Gary Bettman wasn't such a schmuck.
Well, really, a review of the Quebec Capitals?
Capitals? No, we don't have that. Yeah, Gary Bettman's on it. They have to talk about something else.
Yeah, you're right. The AAA season goes into the 28th. Wow, look at that.
Of course, I know this.
Nice,
man.
nice. No,
They didn't
okay.
just make me president for nothing. Yes, they did.
Yes.
And then the following weekend.
You were the next guy.
So yeah, my name was Paul, and Paul Sweeney, Paul Baker, close enough. And then the following weekend, not sure what we're doing either. My choices are either going to be to do a Stadium Journey review for Stonehill College, which is making the leap up to Division One. Maybe we'll catch their first home football game, or this what might screw me out of Quebec is because the following weekend I found that I can do a triple header in Maine. We can do UMaine football, the Lewiston not the Maniacs, the Lewiston Nordiques junior hockey team and the NAHL, and then the Portland Sea Dogs. So might end up doing that in 2 weekends. So stay tuned. We'll figure out where in the world is Paul San Diego, right? So
yeah, no triple headers. If you could do a triple header, that's like everybody's dream, just to knock off three events in one day.
Well, that would be over 2 days, actually.
Oh, over 2 days. Okay, not
it
bad.
would be 2 games on a Saturday, 1 on a Sunday.
Okay, well that'd be yeah, and stay overnight up in Maine.
Yeah, stay in Maine, which which Pam will never say no to.
No, yeah, get some moxie.
Oh no,
she'll say no to that.
My mom grew up in Maine. She grew up in Pittsfield, Holton, Maine, and then Pittsfield, Maine, and she doesn't like moxie.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. I don't hate it. I like it.
Soda.
Yeah, I don't like
licorice.
it. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I can't see myself drinking it like I would a Diet Coke or
Yeah, I tried it once. That was enough.
Yeah,
I'm done. So it's not like going to Polar Park in Worcester and having an orange dry, or going down to North Carolina and having a Cheerwine.
Having a Cheerwine.
Or what else? There's another local soda that I've tried that was really good. I can't think of it.
Ale 8-1 in Kentucky.
No, I've only been to Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, local soda. Yeah, there's plenty of them.
There you go. There's another podcast idea.
There you go.
Well, anyway, if you're looking for stadium reviews, go to the website, stadiumjourney.com. You'll find over 2,600 different stadium reviews. You'll find news items. You'll find other feature stories like the ones Mark was talking about earlier. Connect with us on our social media channels at Stadium Journey. Audio versions of the Stadium Journey podcast can be found. Pick up your phone, search HIAC Talk Radio Network wherever you look for your podcast. You'll find us, or go to HIACTalkradio.com. Look at that, an ad lib. Video simulcast of the podcast can be found on Stadium Journey's YouTube page, and our classic episodes, our back catalog, can be found at vocnation.com. And join us for live streams every other Tuesday night at 7 Eastern at danlaw.tv. In 2 weeks, we'll be back. That'll be September 13th. Since we're talking about it's college football season, our old friend Andrew Bowes is going to join us. He's going to talk about his college football trip for the year. He was just in Hawaii last weekend.
Yeah, no, this guy's already been to like 5 college football games.
Yeah, he's closing in on the end of if you have not heard Andrew on the show, you've got to come. He's a great storyteller. His goal is to see football game in all, what is it now, 136 maybe, all the FBS football stadiums, and the number keeps growing. And he is.
I was gonna say, and every time he inches closer, there's more.
Yep. Another bunch jumps up to the next level. So Andrew will be with us in 2 weeks. Join us all then. As always, thanks everyone for your support. Thanks for waiting for us through the long month of August. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you joining us tonight. So for Dan, Mark, and Dave, this is Paul. Wishing you all safe journeys and close games. Hope to see you on the road again real soon. Be safe out there.